Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something that's a huge deal in modern software. How do you figure out what's actually going on inside those super complex distributed systems we're all building? It's all about finding that signal in the noise. Let's get into it.
Right? This is the question that keeps us engineers up at night. You know the drill. An alert fires, a customer reports a bug, and suddenly you're staring at this digital crime scene. But with microservices, the clues are literally scattered across dozens of different places. So where do you even begin to look?
So here's our game plan. First, we'll dive into what I call the microservice mystery. Then we'll find a solution, a trace of light. We'll check out the tools of the trade, then follow a real user's journey, and finally, we'll wrap up with the first steps you can take today.
Okay, let's set the scene. You've built this amazing system. It's got all of these independent, specialized services. It's scalable, it's resilient, but when one little thing goes wrong, you're just completely lost in this maze of logs.
And this right here is the painful reality for so many of us. You've got a log from the API gateway, you've got another one from the auth service, and way over there you've got logs from the database. They all have different timestamps, they're in different formats, and there is no obvious connection between them. It's like trying to piece together a story from 3 different books, all written in different languages. It's just so frustrating, and honestly, it's often a total dead end. But what if you could connect all those dots? What if you could follow one single action from a user as it weaves its way through your entire system? Well, that's exactly what distributed tracing lets you do. It's pretty much our flashlight in the dark.
So here's the big idea. Distributed tracing gives you the complete end-to-end story of a single request. I love this analogy. It's like a GPS for your data. It doesn't just tell you the start and end points, it shows you every single turn, every stop along the way, and exactly how long each part of that journey took.
And you know, the way this works is actually pretty simple. When a request first hits your system, boom, it gets a unique passport, a trace ID. This little passport travels with the request everywhere it goes. At every service it visits, it gets a new stamp in its passport. We call that stamp a span, and it's got all the juicy details, how long it took, what happened, any errors. Then at the very end, all those stamps are gathered up to create this one, single, easy-to-read travel itinerary, and that's your trace.
Okay, so the concept is awesome, but how do we actually do it? Let's talk about the tools you'll be using. We're going to focus on 2 of the biggest players, especially in the AWS world. So you've basically got 2 main paths you can go down. On one side, you've got AWS X-Ray. It's the native solution, it's built right in, deeply integrated with stuff like Lambda and API Gateway. This makes it incredibly easy to get up and running. Then on the other side, you've got OpenTelemetry. Now this is the big, vendor-neutral industry standard. It's all about flexibility and making sure you don't get locked into just one provider's ecosystem.
And this is a really big deal. This is why so many teams are jumping on the OpenTelemetry train. It gives you a standard way to instrument your code one time. After that, you get to decide where you send that data. You could start with AWS X-Ray today, but hey, if you want to switch to a different tool next year, you don't have to rewrite your entire application. And that is a huge, huge strategic win.
All right, let's make this real. Theory is great and all, but seeing a trace in action, that's where the magic happens. We're going to follow a single click from a user and see exactly what kind of story it tells us.
Think about it. It's such a simple, everyday action, right? A user is on your site, they see something they like, and they click Add to Cart. But behind that one click, a whole cascade of events is kicking off across all your different microservices.
So first, that request hits your API gateway. The gateway looks at it and says, okay, you're going to the cart service. The cart service is responsible for, managing the shopping cart. But before it can add the item, it has to ask, hey, do we even have this in stock? So it makes a quick call over to the inventory service. A nice, simple 3-step journey. Or so it seems.
And boom, the trace lays it all out for us clear as day. We can see instantly the API gateway and the cart service are blazing fast. 20 milliseconds, 50 milliseconds, no problem. But then look at the inventory service, a whopping 800 milliseconds. Now without a trace, you could have spent hours, maybe days digging through logs to find that. With the trace, the problem just jumps off the screen. The bottleneck isn't our cards code, it's the slowest service it depends on. We know exactly where to focus our efforts.
Okay, so this all seems incredibly powerful, right? And you might be thinking, this sounds complicated to set up. But the great news is you can start really small and see the value almost immediately.
Here's your game plan. Seriously,
Don't try to boil the ocean. Just pick one critical part of your system, maybe your login process or the checkout endpoint. Then, just go into the AWS console for API Gateway or Lambda, and with literally a couple of clicks, you enable active tracing for just that one thing. That's it. Then you just sit back and watch. As those first few traces start to flow in, you'll start to see the story of that request in a way you never have before.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Every single request that flows through your system has a story. It's a journey, right? It's got twists and turns and all these hidden delays. By just flipping on tracing, you're finally giving those stories a voice. So what's it going to be? What hidden performance bottlenecks, or secret errors, or surprising connections are you going to uncover when you look at your very first trace?